That's when you know Ralph's here.
That's when you know. That's when you know Sidecar's over here.
He's over there.
He's over there.
Don't light anything on fire now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's.
Do you have
What are you looking for?
Do you have matches?
I don't, but I have this great cigar lighter that would probably work for you.
No.
Why?
It'll burn the rim.
Burn the rims.
Burn the rim.
Yeah.
I don't have any matches.
But
so.
Karen's got that lighter, so
What lighter?
you could use that green one. You just gotta like
The
suck
candle
on it.
one?
How about this? How about this?
This one?
No.
it's
This
not
is
long
the best
enough.
one to use, really.
Yeah, I use that. That's a light flame.
Whoop-dee.
I'm not gonna light my cigar yet because I don't want to
Hey,
choke
look,
my
see,
kid
there's
out.
no dick in your face this time.
That's a surprise. He'll have someone who gets home.
This thing looks like it was just pointing right at his face last time. He's like, "Oh, come on, man! This is." I mean, it looked like.
Yeah, come on,
somebody
man. This is
sticking his
ridiculous.
You have to watch the first episode, and then you'll understand.
You didn't hear him blurt out, I miss that guy.
Where's
It
George
reminds
Dickel
me
when
of
I need
that
him?
time.
He's right there.
Oh, my goodness.
He's in between the faces.
So, how was your trip? So, you guys
Are
were
we
delayed?
recording this right now?
Oh, it's recording.
Yeah,
Oh.
delayed half an hour.
Okay.
Bad weather, flight came
It
in
was
late.
by the time we got in the air, it was longer than a half hour. I feel like he was like, "We're the fourth in line in the tarmac," and I was like, "Jesus Christ!"
But then he really booked it. It's like it's supposed to take 2 hours, and it was an hour and 10 minutes.
yeah,
Hmm.
made it.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. You were just a half hour
Yeah.
behind where you were supposed to be, so it all worked out.
Yeah.
Kevin even-
come here again to take care of stuff.
What?
Like cook, clean, do everything.
Oh yeah, it's about time you did something.
When I saw you, you're an hour. You're at
Bless you.
the at the airport. I was like, oh great, I have to go take care of it.
That's
Feed the
it.
dogs, wax the
I was
floors.
home all day. I cleaned the house, all 3 levels. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
You know what?
You clean the house.
You just sit there and toke up on that cigar. Don't choke or anything.
She said, "Shut the fuck up."
that was hidden language.
So, how's your tobacco? What are you smoking, dude? What do you got?
Let's say
Oh,
that till
Pearl.
later.
Pearl.
Let's say that till later.
Oh, you smoking others?
All right.
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, yeah, Pearl. He's got Pearl.
So,
Dude, it's hot in here.
Pearl
Can
necklace.
you turn the fan
Called
on a
the Pearl
little?
necklace.
Yeah, west over there.
He,
Over there,
has,
the little knobby thing.
he may have to pull that chain on there because I think we turned it on.
Kevin.
What's that?
Just turn the. There you go.
Perfecto.
You might have to turn it down a little bit.
It's what is it? 1 o'clock? No, not
Saved it. No,
over
not
That's right.
there.
No,
it
no,
does.
he's doing
he
it
does
over
it on
there.
the wall.
He's
Thank you,
controlling the speed over there. Thank you. So what do you think? You ready to get rolling or what?
I don't know what's this guy doing over here.
I don't know. He's gonna sit
I'm pretty.
down. I hope.
I'm very much prepared.
He's
Okay.
swiping left on Tinder.
Me?
Oh, what?
Who gets right? No.
I don't know what left means. I don't know. Is that good or bad?
Left is bad, right's good, right?
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
Does it look okay?
I just know you swipe.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm married.
Oh boy. All right, sidecar. When you
My wife's gonna be like, "Wait a minute, how do you know which way to swipe?"
Yikes.
I don't. I mean, what are you
Albert told
talking
me.
about? What the hell is Tinder?
You look so distinguished.
Kevin, right?
Kevin.
So which way do you swipe, left or right?
I haven't been on Tinder in a long time either, so I couldn't say.
His fiance's over there too. Come on.
No, I thought I was
Don't
gonna
put him under
bait
the
in.
gun.
I was gonna bait into that one, and I thought I had it too. It didn't work.
It'll be quicker.
I like this one.
Oh yeah, it's all original.
Smart this one
Jackie
is.
Warren on piano. What?
You got a 3-piece suit on?
Yeah, there's a whole story. I'll probably save it for the whiskey round too, for the podcast. There's a whole story behind that.
Oof.
I mean, I'll tell you guys right now. So I was like on my way to the wedding.
Oh, this
and
story. I heard that story.
My best friend's getting married, and we all have these 3-piece suits.
Wait, you gotta save it for the show.
It's just
Let's save it for the show.
basically. I'll save that for the. I'll save that.
Zip.
Okay.
Zip it.
Zip it.
Zip it good.
Zip it.
The whole bag of
It
zip
is
over
so
here.
hot in here, man.
coffee with a turbo shot.
Are you guys ready? Should I kick back in?
Let's do it.
Welcome. This is the Whiskey Roundtable. Shout out to the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
Big G.
And I'm Albert Santilli.
Karen Helen Keller.
And tonight, we want to thank you for joining us. And be sure to view us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. If you want to be a guest on the show, bring an unopened bottle of whiskey, your favorite whiskey or whiskeys. We will consider an open bottle if it's a rare offering, like a George T. Stagg or a Pappy Van Winkle or something we just can't get and you can't go to your local Giant Eagle or liquor store and pick up yourselves. Tonight, want to introduce our guests?
Sure. Our guest tonight is mine and Karen's daughter, Naomi, and her fiance, Kevin,
Hello.
Yeah.
who are in town. And it'd be just to be in town for the weekend. Came up to visit. Kevin has been in England for a while. He just finished up his master's, and
Oh, wow.
it's they're starting a life together. So we'll be looking forward to that for sure. And grandchildren, of course.
Okay.
I got college tuition to get back. But anyway, I told the story. I won't bore you guys with. But so anyway, there are special guests today, and my daughter has acquired a little taste for Jameson, so we're going to beat her up on that tonight. So go ahead, Joe. What do you got?
So I got some news since we're talking about Jameson. I got a couple things I want to talk about. Is this week was the 22nd anniversary of the Heaven Hill fires. 22 years ago this week, 90,000 barrels of whiskey aging at Heaven Hill Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky were lost in a massive, tragic fire that 2% of the world's whiskey stocks at the time was about a $30 million hit for the brand.
Wow.
Times were different then. Adding to the distillers were able to help because their plants were underutilized. So it's not like now where whiskey and bourbon and stuff is really popular. I mean, it wasn't back 20 years ago. They couldn't give the stuff away. You know what I mean? It was cheaper.
Sure.
Not a lot of people were into it. I mean, there's people always been into it, but just not like the masses that are into it now, as big as it is now. If something happened like that today in the industry, there wouldn't be enough production capacity to be able to help any of the distilleries if that happened because the demand is so high.
Sure.
Where back then it didn't even, according to the article, it didn't even matter to them, really. It didn't cease production. They were still producing the next day. And rick house fires are not frequent, but when they began, they nearly are impossible to stop. The flames at that point were reaching some 350 plus feet into the air.
Wow.
They reached the other rick houses, so the all-consuming blaze that the firefighters knew it couldn't be extinguished until the supplies of whiskey and those rick houses were basically exhausted.
Yeah,
Is it going to be the same thing with Barton Distillery?
Right.
So they're going to release a rick house collapse distillery, but it's the same
All right.
stuff but you're paying more for it just
Yeah.
because it came
Because
from
of
that.
because of what happened.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. So
You know.
it's interesting.
You know.
I always liked Heaven Hill. It's like
Yeah.
very affordable, just a good bottle.
Right. And they produce God, probably I don't know. I'm just pulling off the top of my head 30, 40 different types of
Oh
whiskey.
yeah, absolutely.
Is that the
I agree.
6th year that they just stopped making? Is that,
They didn't
They-
stop making it. They pulled it off the shelves and they're repurposing it for other things. I'm guessing it's going more towards the Old Fitz lineup,
okay.
is from what I understand, and some other higher end offerings. Because now you have the Old Fitz 11 year,
Right. 9 year,
9 year, and 14.
11, and 14.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I see you got over that because you were pretty sad when that first hit the news. You were
Still
you-
sad.
You were
'cause
bumming.
I want to open a bottle right now and drink it, but I don't want to drink it all because we only have a few left. But that's kind of
A few what left?
Heaven Hill.
Oh,
6 year bottle of bomb.
We do have
Yeah.
a few of those left. Yes, we do. Okay.
So then we got Jameson whiskey is obviously the star tonight. It's the IPA cask, but I'll let you guys talk about that. Jameson is some of our favorite whiskeys. We have a lot of different ones. We have
We do.
Cask Mates, the IPA,
Right.
the Stout Edition. We have Gold.
Yeah.
We also have
Copper's Crows.
Cooper's Crow. Is it Copper's
Or
Crow?
I call it Copper, but
Okay,
it's
Cooper's Crows, which is really good. Then
You
we
know,
have
you know me. I make names up as I go.
right. We have the regular, their bottom shelf, and then we also have the Black Edition, which is nice. That's
Yep.
a smooth one.
Yeah, we have a couple of black, if I remember.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
One
good
of the
whiskey.
first whiskeys I ever drank was Jameson, so
Yeah, I think a lot of people did at the bar.
I think I got a story or two later.
It's a shooter.
I'll tell you later.
Right,
Let
yeah.
you get through this. But yeah,
So they have, they're releasing a whiskey that's very low production. I don't think I'll ever be able to get my hands on it. It's called 18-year-old. It's called Bow Street Edition, and it is a cask strength whiskey from Jameson, which is really interesting because Jameson is usually produced at 80%, and to be whatever, or I'm sorry, that would be 40%. It's 80 proof.
80 proof.
And so that would be 40%. And it comes in at 55.3. So when you buy it off the shelf at the local store, it's been both distilled and matured at the Brand's Distillery in Middleton several hours outside of Dublin. For the Bow Street edition, the whiskey is also distilled outside of the city and aged between 18 and 22 years. Afterwards, it's aged in a combination of first fill American bourbon barrels, second fill American bourbon barrels, and then sherry barrels for 18 to 22 years. Then all blended together. That blended together married whiskey is then put back into the barrels that are brought to the distillery's original Dublin location where they will mature for an additional 6 to 12 months. So the Dublin location hasn't been used since, was it 1975?
1975 is
Yeah.
when they moved to Middleton.
Yeah.
Middleton?
Yeah,
Middleton.
Oh, were
Yeah,
you going
Middleton
to
is their
share some of that too?
distillery.
Yeah, no, that's part of my thing, but no, go ahead. We're good.
So I won't say anything more about that. And then
yeah,
Damn Joe.
they're actually doing a coffee and Irish whiskey that is at 35% because a lot of people like to drink whiskey with their coffee and
Sure.
stuff like that. So they're bringing like this
Sidecar.
coffee Jameson blend that's coming out. And
I
it's,
heard that.
going to be 35%.
That'd be cool.
And that's pretty
Looking
much
forward to trying that too. Actually.
the Bowman. There's only 3,000 bottles. The Bowmaner, I believe, or is that the cold brew? I might have those mixed up. And no, that's the cold brew. The Bowman will be $290,
Wow.
and it's only limited to 84 barrels in total.
Are they going to sell that in the States? Or are they going
Uh,
to keep it over?
It will come to select markets in the United States. Actually, it was early August,
All right.
and I haven't been able to find it online, so
right.
I
Hey, Kevin?
don't know.
Just, you're from across the pond, so
Passport in my pocket.
you got some connections.
Maybe.
What
So
is
basically,
it?
we got a couple new drinks being offered in the news here. It's the Heaven Hill, the anniversary edition to the fire. And then we have the Bowman 18-year, which is at cask strength, and then the Jameson coffee blend,
Cool.
which should be kind of interesting. I'd try that. I mean,
I
all
would
these
too.
other blends they've done have been pretty good.
I like
I think
coffee
after
beer.
after a night of tasting, 7 or 8 different things like we normally do, it'd be nice to have a little whiskey with her coffee.
a little nightcap
Help
coffee
us get
with
home.
I think it's just coffee flavored whiskey. I
That's
don't
right.
know.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll give it a shot.
Right.
We'll give it a shot.
Kevin, is there a limit to how many bottles you can bring back over the Pacific?
There
Atlantic.
might be, but I'm sure we
Atlantic.
can get creative with that.
You can get
Yeah,
creative.
so I'm just gonna
Suitcase
chime
just for
in.
liquor.
So we haven't introduced Kevin and Naomi. So Naomi,
Briefly,
yeah, we have. Okay, so Naomi is Karen and mine's daughter, and Kevin is her fiance from. He's from England, and so we give him heck every chance we get. So good guy, very intelligent guy. Just finished his master's over there at what school were you at?
Bristol.
Bristol. Okay. So he just came over here to the States, and they're engaged in planning a wedding. So we'll be more to tell here pretty soon. So
Where are you from again?
Middle of England, Birmingham.
Birmingham. Okay. Right.
Isn't that where Def Leppard's from? Birmingham.
I believe so. Yeah.
And Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Those two things going for Birmingham.
Yeah,
That's all it's
which
got
is
going
nice.
for it.
You got Def Leppard, Ozzy Osbourne, and Kevin.
Yeah.
Perfect. Score.
Score. You know to pick them. I keep telling you, marry money and let love clean your pool. You're not listening. Go ahead.
So you guys, anybody else? I seem to be the only one actually smoking right now.
I
I see
was
some
going to light
cigars.
up. Naomi doesn't. She's not a cigar fan, so I don't want to be rude to her on her
Okay.
first night.
That's fine.
Tomorrow might be a different story, but today I'm just trying to. As we get on with the show, I'll light up. So I'll just tell you as far as our cigars. Albert, I think, is going to be smoking a Padron 1964 anniversary cigar. Is that it? Yeah.
That's it, 1960. Yeah, that's
So that's a
exactly right.
Nicaraguan cigar. It's a medium body cigar. but it does have a Maduro wrapper on it. I have smoked that cigar in the past.
Hold it up to the camera.
I don't remember a whole bunch about it, but for some reason, what comes to mind is like coffee and hazelnut, and maybe a little cocoa or something.
Yeah, actually,
like that.
you can go up to the lens, man. Hold up the wrapper right there. Yeah.
He's got it there. So
It's a good shot.
again, I'm
Yeah, that's
smoking. You know, we have
Thank
one
you.
of our sponsors, Dave Somrock from Royal Havana Cigars, 38448 Lakeshore Boulevard in Willoughby, Ohio, 44094. Dave supplies us with our cigars, fresh rolled cigars, every week, and lighters and ashtrays. So we have his
sign.
his sign here right behind Joe there.
And you've
So,
got a billboard on your chest
I
right
do
there,
have.
too.
I got my Royal Havana shirt on, Big G, Royal Havana cigar. So I'm wearing this. Dave, it was kind enough to have this made for me. So
Omar the
I
tent
figured-
maker helped
Omar the tent maker,
That's what I
right. There's not going to be a lot of sweaters out for Christmas this year, kids, because I got most of them on me. Okay, so I'm smoking the same cigar I smoked last week. It's a Ecuadorian cigar with the Ecuadorian and Nicaraguan blend and the Maduro, Nicaraguan wrappers as well. So that's what I'll be smoking later.
And what
this
did
evening.
you get me? You got me an acid
got you
this
an acid.
week,
That's
but
what you-
this is different. This is a
You know
yellow
what?
wrapper.
I forgot what I got you, dear. I was rushing around. I went and saw my father today. It was kind of crazy.
It's an acid with a yellow wrapper.
Yeah, earthiness.
I've had this one before.
You
This-
have
this
had
is
that one
good. I
before,
do
so
like
that
this.
is a little bit stronger than the blondie that we're smoking. So that's like
Last
a
week,
little
yeah.
bit more than a medium body cigar,
Yeah.
but it's real smooth. You'll like it.
Still one of those. It smells good and
Absolutely.
not offensive.
Not offensive. So, so one of our other sponsors, which we haven't heard from today, is of course Joe, our host. Why don't you give yourself a shout out, Joe, for your business today?
Premier Luxury Automotive of Cleveland. We specialize in pretty much any vehicle. Mostly, we're very high into the BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes. We do some Porsche work. We also do anything Japanese, domestic. Pretty much anything. We don't really get too much into like the big trucks or anything like that, but it's most of the time half-ton trucks and under on your Japanese and domestic vehicles as far as that goes. Yeah, I mean, we have a ton of testing equipment. We do it all. We do tires, we do repairs, pretty much anything. We can refer to body shops. We have a lot of body shops under us. We have a detailing facility around the corner called Rehab. They do everything from a Toyota Camry to a LaFerrari, which they do get.
Which they have. You've seen
Yes.
quite a few of those cars roll through your shops.
So yeah, they do the special ceramic coating and all that there too. So
Yeah, that's Premier Auto in
Yep.
Bedford, right there on Richmond Road.
5116 Richmond Road.
5116.
Right around the corner
Richmond
from Lizardville in
Yes.
Bedford Heights.
Road. So Richmond and Miles Road. Check them out.
Are you looking for the perfect party entertainment? Then you can check out the North Coast Jazz Ensemble. We do private events, weddings, you name it, and you can look us up on Facebook. So, as we're doing advertisements here, I just want to toss that out. Also teach private lessons if you're looking to improve your musicianship. Send your kids to college. They'll know what to expect.
What kind of lessons do you give? Piano?
Lessons for every instrumentalist out there. Piano is my primary instrument. I have a background in jazz studies. And check out the North Coast Jazz Band.
We have gone to see Albert play several times throughout the years, and he is very entertaining, just like he is here on the show. So, but he is a great pianist. He's a great entertainer.
It's a great what?
Yeah, a great pianist, and
But it's not in his face. It's right there. It's right there. This episode is not
oh
in his
my goodness, you guys are killing
face.
me.
See it? It's in
So-
between.
I just want to make sure I
Yeah.
heard you right. That's
But,
Oh, I got it in your cheek.
You know, we've had an opportunity to meet all of his friends that play along with him, and they're all great people. So give him a shout. You look him up on Facebook. Give him a look. Obviously.
Facebook, Instagram. Where else are you? Just Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. So what do we got going here today, Joe?
Crack the bottle.
All right.
Start just bursting out the whiskey and see what it tastes like.
All right. So we're gonna. You want to take a commercial break or take a quick second, or want to just keep rolling?
Yeah, I mean, just keep rolling. Yeah, I can edit out whatever.
Nomi, are you comfortable talking about your trip to Jameson Distillery when you were in Ireland?
Oh man, I was 16.
This is the Whiskey Roundtable. Welcome back, and we're doing the Jameson Caskmates IPA edition. Greg, you want to get the bottle up to the camera there on your
This
right?
one here?
Yep. And that is the IPA edition. They also have another Caskmates. It's actually called a Stout edition, which is aged in your Guinness type barrels and stuff like that. We'll review that at another show.
Sure.
They're both really good. I've always wanted to try the thing that other people have been doing is blending the two together 50-50 and having a whole new drink. That would be interesting to do.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So that, I don't know. I've always wanted to do that. Never tried that. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but right, you guys want to get a nose on it?
Yeah. What's you want to talk about this?
Sure. I can talk a little bit about Jameson. I'll give you a little background. I don't have as much as I had last week from Buffalo Trace, but did find some things out about Jameson. Is that they actually first started distilling in 1780 under the Bow Street distilling, and that is, Joe, what you were just talking about earlier. That's the new expensive came out in August.
Right.
So it was originally called the Bow Street Distillery. I'm trying to read this without my glasses, but it's all good.
There you go.
I have a pair here.
Okay.
And then in 1810, that's when John Jameson took it over, and he renamed it John Jameson and Son Irish Whiskey. And it is in Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin.
The front of every bottle, and I didn't check this one, but supposedly on the front of every bottle there's a family motto, and I'm going to get this wrong, so Kevin, you probably know, so correct me. It's called Sin Metu. It's Gaelic.
Give us a hint.
Sheen
pretty
Metu, I
Gaelic.
think, with the SH sound at the beginning, perhaps.
Okay, whatever he said.
Yeah. That's the one.
It's displayed on the front of every bottle, and it actually means without fear. So that was pretty cool. That's the Jameson family motto. As Joe mentioned, in 1975, they moved from Dublin to Middleton, and that's where every drop of Jameson is now distilled. All of the barley from within 100 miles
Yeah.
is in Jameson, and the water that they use to distill is from, help me, the Dungurney River.
Dungarvan, yeah.
Oh, I got one right. So what I didn't know is that to be considered an Irish whiskey, it must spend a minimum of 3 years maturing on the island of Ireland. So,
Wow. Huh.
did not know that.
Didn't know that.
So they
either.
actually use water from a
From the river, the river that is
Whereas,
right there.
you know,
by
like
the,
a lot of bourbons, they say, that it's the lime water, the Kentucky bourbons and all that stuff, which it's kind of well known at this point in time. They don't all source their water from that, the Kentucky lime water. Some do, some. Most of the time, it's not. They're using a lot of purified water, basically, or distilled
Yeah.
water.
yeah.
Whereas they're actually pulling it from the river. That's
From the river.
interesting.
Let's see. So what we're trying today is the Caskmates IPA. It's kind of right up my alley because it's finished in craft IPA barrels. So we're adding a little bit of the beer to this. So I'm looking forward to trying this. My last note is a little known fact, and I hope it's right because I pulled it from Wikipedia, so it's on the internet. It's got to be true, right? John Jameson is actually the great-grandfather of Marconi, who invented the radio. So there's a little Italian
That's
Diego
right.
connection there,
Who said we hated the Irish?
which who knew? But yeah.
Who knew? That's right.
So Marconi's part of the Jameson family. That's all I got today. Before we go in and drink, the reason why this is Naomi's drink is when you were how old? You were in Dublin?
15, 16. It's been
Yeah.
a while.
And unbeknownst to her mother, she got hooked on Jameson whiskey. So you were in Dublin, right?
Yeah, I was in Dublin for about 2 weeks. We started in Dublin, actually, and then did a tour all along the south by car, which brought some interesting stories. But yeah, we went to the Jameson distillery there, and we got a tour and got to sample before the legal drinking age. So that was pretty exciting. I
Look at
think.
that smile on your face.
Yeah, it's good times.
So was that was legal over there?
No.
Oh, okay. What's the legal drinking age over there?
Well, Kevin and I have been arguing about this. I think it's 18.
I think it's 16 if you've got supervision of some kind, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, wouldn't be the first time you drank underage, so it's all good.
Yeah, because kids don't do that.
No, not our
Not
kids.
at all.
No.
Right. Yeah.
So
That actually-
is that? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it does transition into this short story nicely. First time I ever had Jameson, I was at a house party, and guy's name was Cole. I won't say his last name, but you know, the mother, being the impressionable mom that she was chaperoning, and someone had a bottle of Jameson there. So I tasted some, then I tasted a little bit more. Next
Just
thing
to
you
make
know,
sure.
I don't know. I think there was about 100
A little
high
bit
school
more.
students there. They
A
had
little bit
kegs, so the night was jumping, and I ended up in a closet, I guess. And
Albert, get out of the
there
closet.
was a rucket. Yeah, people like, yeah,
Do you have your Dickel bottle?
I was trying to figure my way out of the closet. I was trying to, but you know, don't get it twisted.
All right.
But anyway, they heard a loud crash. There was a crash, and Stephen Chambers like, "What's something that was in the closet?" And he opens it up, and it's like, "It's Santilli." And I had I'd stepped on a picture frame and broken a bunch of glass everywhere. So Cole's like, "Mom, yeah, Albert's breaking stuff in the house," and they ended up so the mom came down. She's like, "You need to leave. You need to leave right now, Mister." I'm hammered off this Jameson. So I'm driving a Astro van at the time.
Nice.
Girl magnet,
And,
huh?
Yeah. You want to go on a date? Well, you're coming. So, but at some point in the party, I schlepped an entire keg by myself. So there's 100 people partying, and I'm in the background just schlepping a keg, and no one noticed, I guess. I put it in the truck, and I just leave the party. And I wake up the next morning, this raging headache. I can barely see anything. I go out to my car. I got there was a ski goggles, there was a hammer, there was Stephen Chambers' cell phone, and a keg in my car.
Nice.
So I didn't tell my parents. I was like, "Oh my God, what did I do last night? It's a miracle I didn't get pulled over. This is one of those life lessons. Probably shouldn't have been doing that." So I did the adult thing, which was go back to her house and apologize the next day. And right as I'm pulling up onto Cole Street, Stephen Chambers is on oncoming traffic. And he goes, "Santilli, what up?" He rolls down the window. I was like, "What are you doing here, man?" I was like, "Man, I'm just driving. I gotta go see Cole about something." He's like, "Man, my morning has been hectic. I lost my cell phone last night. I can't find it anywhere. I was here in the morning looking all over for it." I go, "I think I know what you're looking for." So he's like, he wasn't even mad. He was just happy he got it back. And I went over and apologized to the mom. She's like, "Cole, get down here." Cole comes down. I give him the ski goggles and all this stuff back. But that was the reason I don't really drink Jameson.
What about the keg?
Yeah, what happened to keg?
I actually kept the keg.
Good man. Good man.
I'm not giving that back.
So moral of the story,
Recycled it.
Don't
he's
have
a
a kegger?
klepto. No, he's a klepto on Jameson.
That's
So
it.
can we just watch him tonight?
Hey,
'Cause-
on behalf of the Whiskey Roundtable and all of us sitting here, remember to drink responsibly.
Amen.
Okay.
All right. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna take a little nose of this or what?
So Jameson is your favorite whiskey. You drink whiskey?
I have never had whiskey in my life.
This is your first time.
My first whiskey.
Wow.
Oh wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Oh, this is kind of
Well,
cool.
this is going to be a deal breaker for Naomi. Go ahead. Let's see what happens here.
divorce.
It's a long walk back to England.
It's gonna be his first time. Let's do it.
Wow, this is kind of cool actually to have this on the show. We're breaking in a virgin here. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like that.
Wow. Huh.
So when we were in Boston and Philadelphia, Kevin doesn't really drink, but everything alcoholic I put in front of him, I said, "Try that." But that's quite tasty. And I would just let him drink it. He'd drink the whole thing, and Naomi would be like, "Well, let me try it." And he's like, "Well, you already have something." So
All right, let's get a nose
all
on
right,
it.
let's get a nose on it. So I have the nose and the palate up. So I was surprised what I did smell something in there. because I haven't really drank the IPA that much, which you know, but I did smell something in there that caught my attention. And then when I brought up the nose and the palate, I was surprised that I was right on that in particular thing. But there was some other stuff they claim is on the nose that I don't smell at all. But that's all right.
So what are they saying is on there?
Okay, well, I thought you guys were going to blurt some stuff out first, but that's
No,
okay.
no.
No. So
I can't get anything.
okay,
Can I guess?
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Apples
that's exactly when I first smelled it. What I thought was apple cider.
and cinnamon.
Okay, so you're right. So apples, honey, grain and malt, toffee, and a touch of cinnamon and hops.
Ah.
I smell the hops. I smell the apple for sure. That was the first time when I first smelled it. I thought of apple cider. It's exactly what I thought. Good nose. Good nose, Naomi.
I can't place it.
I don't smell the hops.
I did smell a little bit of that.
I don't smell the hops either.
Yeah.
You know, for those of you at home right now, it actually has a little bit of apple cider coloration to it.
Sure does.
You are silly. So let's give it a little taste.
It's a very sweet smell. You know?
It does.
is sweet.
So there you
It's
go.
always
So
very,
apples.
like they always say with Scotch and Irish whiskey, it's always very floral,
get-
especially Irish whiskey.
You know, your apples and your honey. That's
I can get the honey on that.
I did too. When I first smelled it, I thought apple cider. It was the very first thing I thought of.
That's good. So this is your first time trying this, Naomi?
Yeah, I haven't had this one.
You've had all the rest, I'm sure.
No, I'm like bottom shelf at Jameson on
bottom
most days,
shelf.
I think. But recently, I've been mixing it with apple cider, actually.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
hot
Have
apple
you?
cider.
Oh, so maybe
Some
this will be really
Jameson.
interesting to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have
Let's
some
take a
apple
sip. Let's
cider
try a sip.
upstairs, by the way.
Cheers,
All right.
everybody.
All
Slide
right. Salute. Hey,
Of course, in the Cleveland Bourbon
Cleveland
Co-op
Bourbon Co-op
glasses.
snifter glasses. Thanks again, guys, for
Yes.
all the support you guys give us. I appreciate you. All right, let's give it a little taste. I'm going to try it twice.
He's like,
Yeah. Eyes are watering.
We should have got him. Is that soda water open?
Pretty smooth.
Should let him have a little water over there.
You know, it's actually
I don't want the kid crying. I don't want the
Jameson to
kid
me
crying.
is I mean, it's, you know, it's 80 proof,
Yeah.
and it's, I mean, that's very light for a lot of whiskeys that we drink and stuff, especially compared to the bourbons and everything like that. Jameson is usually bottled at 80 proof.
Yeah, it is 80
So
proof. It is 80
it's,
proof for sure. I'm just trying to get some
40%,
Yeah,
yeah.
40%. I'm sorry, John.
And that's what Jameson is usually bottled at. It doesn't matter if you spend, you know, $30
It's
on
actually a
this
lot
or
more friendly.
$150.
Yeah, I was drinking
Yeah,
like
It's usually right around 80
liquors.
proof.
You know, I mean, you're another one that got me started on
Sometimes.
Jameson as well. You know, we have a good collection of Jamesons. You know,
Yeah,
we have a lot
I
to
love
build
Jameson,
on.
yeah.
But
It's bang
you
for
know,
your buck.
I don't think there's one that we have up there that we really don't like. You know, we don't drink it that much.
No.
I think we drink it more during the winter than we do during the year. Does that sound right?
I
But-
think that's become that way because we've gotten so much into the bourbon.
Yeah,
You
we've
know,
gotten a lot.
we've
a lot
neglected
of
a lot of
fruits.
Scotch and
Yeah.
Irish, and every time I go back to it, I'm like, God, that's what I really like drinking.
Right.
You know.
Back to basics. I hear
Yeah.
you. Triple distilled. Triple distilled.
I like it. It's very smooth. It's not hot at all.
Oh no.
That's good.
Yeah.
And it is
Put that back
sweet,
to sit down, if
so
you-
it
Yeah,
comes
they are.
through in the
They're
taste.
very
No, on the
sweet.
black.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Turn
Perfect.
it more.
Thanks. That's fine. Thank you. But all right, I'm going in for a second taste. What do you think, Bert Santilli?
I'm already on my second taste. Where are you guys?
It's definitely very sweet. A lot of honey. Some apple in there. I think there's more apple in the nose than.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of honey and vanilla on that.
You know, I remember last week when we tried the Buffalo Trace, and I want to say it was somebody used the term banana. It's funny. Once in a while, when I'm smelling it and I have my mouth open and I take a big taste of it, but, you know, I should say big taste of the aroma. I should say. I had that quick instant of apple, which I've never smelled in it before. You know, but we haven't really drank that. I probably only had it twice.
Yeah.
So I know that Jameson's always been a big fan of yours. So
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and mine now as well. But
Right.
So Naomi had some of the nose right. Obviously, she's cinnamon and
So what do you
honey
think?
and
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't feel like these days I don't usually drink it straight, so it's kind of like different. But
she's a whiskey cheater.
yeah, I'm a cheater. But yeah, I don't pick up like any beer hoppiness to it at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Is there a
I
smoky
did-
flavor to it, or is
I
anyone
don't
getting
see
that?
it. I did smell some of. I felt I smelled the hop in it, but that's
No.
You smelled a hop.
Wormwood.
A hop.
No.
Just
no,
one.
the
Just one hop.
Sock hop. I smelled the sock hop in it.
There's that one hop in there.
You are stupid. Anyway.
Kevin's first whiskey.
Yeah, Kevin, congratulations. Your
Yeah,
first
cheers.
whiskey. On our
Welcome to
show.
the dark side.
So Kevin, now you being the first whiskey here, I guess. What are you getting out of this?
In terms of the smell, like I definitely smell like some kind of fruit, but I couldn't have pinned it down to apple. Uneducated as my palate is. But yeah, then like taste, I just feel the warmth more than anything else. Like it just warms everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about as much as I can say.
Taste, that's it. You don't pick up any sweetness to it or anything, or
I just taste the alcohol, really.
really? Wow, that's weird.
Like, it could just be like $5 vodka in terms of taste, which I know is depressing for you guys to hear. But
No, it's interesting because I used to think the same way when I first started drinking whiskey, like way back. Because like when I was at the bar hanging out with friends, you're just doing shots of whiskey. I never really tasted it; it just tastes like alcohol, and its
Right.
purpose was to get me hammered.
Mm.
Now I like to taste, and eventually I get hammered.
Okay.
Every once in a while.
Still does the job.
It does. It still does the job, but it takes a lot more of this now to do the job.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
This
You're
would take a
exactly
lot.
right. Yeah.
I could probably drink half that bottle tonight and be somewhat okay.
Well, Sunday night, and it's still
Seriously.
early, so.
Yeah, it is early.
Yeah, that's
Sidecar,
right.
you're over there. What do you
Sidecar,
got on
what,
it?
what do you?
Don't
Sidecar, we thought you fell asleep
No,
over
I
there.
don't like.
What's
You
up,
don't-
Ralph Angelo?
Not enough alcohol
Bring
in
back-
it for you?
Bring back the Buffalo Trace stuff.
So, yeah, Sidecar's a heavier drinker.
He is.
Not heavier drinking as in like he's like some kind of raging alcoholic, but
No, he
as
likes
in he likes the heavier drinks. He's a
heavier
bourbon
drinks,
guy
yeah.
for sure. I think he likes some of the higher end scotches that are.
Higher end scotches I like. But
Yeah.
This is.
No, this is light.
Actually,
You know, it's
actually what Kevin was saying. That's exactly what I got out of it.
just alcohol.
Yeah.
Get the
I don't
fuck
get
outta
anything. I'm like to me it's right alcohol. But yeah.
Come on, man, you got a more trained.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's Irish and he's such a dago that he refuses
Even
to
though
admit.
it got some Italian traits in there. Just
Hashtag.
guy didn't like pizza. or something.
I'm thinking that. Naomi, would you please pass me that bottle, please?
Yeah, you poured this pretty deep on me.
I'm going
man.
to have a second
You're
shot. of
going in
this.
again?
I'm going to go in again because it's my duty. So.
It's my duty. Somebody's got to do it.
So while he's pouring that, I was smoking still am. I don't even know if there's any.
Oh, sure.
I brought my. I talked to a couple guys on the co-op. Jeremiah Giddings was on there, and he was mentioning smoking pipe, and I was like, yeah, I smoke pipe too. And I brought my. It's actually I don't know if you can really see this. It's a Savinelli pipe. They're not cheap. This was probably around $120, $130 for this one.
Whoa.
It's a nice, cool smoke out of it. I always pull the filters out of my pipes because it cuts down the smoke so much that it just kills the tobacco for me. So I smoke it man style, pull the filter out,
No.
put the tip back in because you can kind of just pull these tips out, and then there's usually a filter inside of that. And I always take those out. But I am smoking a Pearl tobacco. It's actually me and Albert here. We smoke the same.
That's his Cocoa Raz on it. But
That don't look like no tobacco to me, kids.
It's actually
Officer,
weed.
that's not ours.
I don't do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's real mellow. It's real smooth.
That's good comedy.
Kind of almost chocolatey a little bit.
Well, light it up. Let's
Yeah,
smell it.
well, it's Pearl's a blended
Yes.
tobacco. So, when it smells, it's very aromatic. It smells like someone's baking cookies.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Going in.
Yeah, it's good. Smells good. I'm more of a pipe tobacco fan than smoking cigars. That's just because I grew up with it. My grandfather, then my father, and now me. And I hope my father wills me all his pipes because he has a hell of a collection. I mean, he has got Mershons and he's got the Sherlock Holmes. He's got like the actual replica from years and years ago, Sherlock Holmes pipe with the ivory inlaid into it.
Sure.
It's really sweet. It's freaking
My-
huge
my,
too, man.
My father, who's still alive, but he gave me all his pipe stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I have it on display at his house now, back at his house.
Oh, you took it over there?
Yeah,
I didn't
I got
even realize you did
Yeah,
that.
we had the pipe stand that we
That's
got at the
right, that's
antique
right, you
store, and I
did.
took all that stuff back over there when we redid the house. Just as, you know, we redid it all, and all the memories of when we grew up and him raising us and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. So it's, you know, it's nice to see him enjoy that stuff for sure.
Yeah. So he used to smoke pipe a lot.
Yeah, I did. My father smoked Prodi cigars for a long time, and then he switched over to pipes. He loved pipe smoking. He liked pipe tobacco. He liked his cherry was his favorite blend, and but he smoked a lot of different tobaccos. But I got all of his pipes. I want to say it's like 6 or 8 pipes, and you know, pipe lighter, which I showed you that lighter. You know, that he gave me, and that was a flint style. You know, it's not the no butane back then. It was just, you know, lighter fluid and that. So I have all that stuff, which is back at his house again, in his living room on display. So it's kind of cool. So he likes walking around looking at all the stuff that because we changed the whole interior of the house.
Right.
So the house doesn't look the same inside. So it's cool. He loves it, and you know, we're glad he does. So anyway, just a good memory. That's all.
Yo, Kevin, were you in Britain? Is that where you studied?
In Britain, yeah.
Oh, in Britain.
Yeah.
What was the name of the school? The school was something else.
Bristol.
Bristol. Not one. I was just wondering, do they make you wear the... I was talking to Heather's dad. They made him wear hats with a uniform.
My wife's dad is, he graduated from Oxford.
All right.
He's a professor at Case,
Okay.
and he's from Scotland. He's first generation, so he has the cool accent and everything too.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
cool
he,
accent.
yeah.
But
So he
uniforms
got me
were a big
drinking
thing for you?
scotch.
Like, or they let you dress...
We're at Cambridge. Did you?
Yeah, like there were like the gowns and stuff. I did my undergrad at Cambridge, and they had that stuff there. Bristol's a bit less formal though, so not as much.
I guess that makes it easy on you. You know, I always try to like mimic the way my professors talk and even dress like some of them a certain way, but...
I can see it.
That's exactly right.
So tell us about what. So you're wearing a suit today. What's going on with the
Oh,
suit?
here we go.
Well, it's not that I wasn't going to do anything different out of the ordinary. I'll always wear a suit.
Well, I don't
it's
know.
the-
Last week you didn't wear a suit. Well, I guess you did wear a suit. Yeah,
I didn't wear a suit last week. You're right. But
you had everything but
he
the
had
jacket.
He had the falling
here's
down.
what's
Falling
He had the
different.
down.
falling down
Yep.
costume
It's a
on.
3-piece suit. This is what's different. It's a 3-piece suit,
Don't hurt
and
yourself.
I was going to put on my normal suit,
Right.
and it's also gray.
All right.
And so I'm getting dressed, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, wait a second, this goes with this, the vest. So I'm like, I mixed up my normal suit. I said, and I've already gotten dressed, and I was like, you ever do that? You forget your keys and like look back at the door, and then you're like, I've come too far, and you just leave it. So I'm wearing a 3-piece suit, and I didn't want to wear this one. Well, back to this wedding invitation. I went to my best friend's wedding. And everyone shows up, and I'm on the ball, man. I'm the first one there. I'm helping. I'm the first one there for 3 days in a row. Like I leave work early to like just be on top of it. Have my suit already. Grabbed this gray suit with me, and we show up Saturday. Now it's an hour until we got to take photos. And this one guy lost his cufflinks. There's always that one asshole in the group, right? And I was like, he lost his cufflinks, you know. And I'm ready. And I'm put my suit on. And Steve, Emily's cousin, Steve Fostick, I'll never forget this. He actually lives over here in, in the area. Steve goes, man, I was worried my vest wouldn't fit. I said, vest? What vest? He goes, we all have vests, man. What's the matter with you? My heart just stopped. Like time just, you could hear a pin drop in the room. Like the record just cut. And I call my mom, my sister, everyone. I was like, I don't know what to do. I think it's at home. Someone's got to go check it out. We have an hour. And they're like, so long story short, they called Tickners. We got to make sure. It doesn't make sense. Why would you So they called Tickner's over in Beechwood. I'm like, yeah, he never picked up his suit. So here I am. I just grabbed the same suit, like I grabbed a normal gray, charcoal gray suit. And in my defense, I'm getting ready for the show tonight here on the podcast, and like they really do look similar, man. They just don't have a vest. One's with a vest and one's without.
That's too funny.
I made it, long story short, my sister brought it just in the nick of time. I made it like, I changed at the venue. We took pictures. I'm sweating like... So I was that guy. God.
You thought somebody else was that guy, and you ended up being
Right.
that.
Just making fun of
What a
somebody
dick.
for getting their
You got his
cufflinks.
cufflinks. You got your entire suit.
You forgot to hold it on suit.
Oh, fuck.
You didn't even bring your own suit.
Thanks a lot, Jameson.
God damn those guys that hang out with stupid alcohol.
Too funny.
We do drink a lot.
Yeah, we do.
It's not, yeah.
Too funny.
Usually on the weekend, though. It's pretty bad. You're welcome. This is the way. Oh, wait. Where did that?
So, what else we got going on
So what
today?
is your opinion on the whiskey? What do you guys think?
My opinion.
Yay, nay?
I like it.
I like it.
I like
I
it.
do like it. It's smooth. I don't get any, taste. I don't get the apples. I don't
Right.
get the cinnamon. But
Sidecar
it's
fucking
good.
hates it. He's like, fuck this bullshit.
He's like, what else we have over there on the bar? Come on, let's go.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
oh, yeah.
You want a Bud Light?
No, that's even worse.
Yeah. Karen, you like it? Albert,
I
what
do.
do you
I
think?
do like it.
Oh, it's delicious.
It is, it's really good. It's like a-
you can feel
You know,
it.
I kind of get bored of like the bourbons and stuff like that because after a while, I love it, but after a while, it's just like, man, I need something different. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because
Sure.
bourbons they can be different from each other, but they're all familiar to each other. They all have some kind of tying taste to them. You know what I mean? The way they're made. Your Kentucky straight bourbons. Whereas you get into the Irish stuff and you get into Scotch, and they can be, just completely different from each other. You drink one and then the other, and it's just, it's mind-blowingly different, from brand to brand. That's why I like Scotch and Irish whiskey. Especially Jameson, you get a lot of bang for the buck because a lot of it's cheap. $30, $20, You can go $100. We got a couple up there that are in that 3-digit numbers through Jameson, and they just keep getting better and better. But Scotch, when you start getting into Scotch selections and getting into collecting it, it can get pricey really fast. Because with Scotch, unfortunately, like bourbon, price doesn't dictate a good drink all the time. Even with Irish, it doesn't always dictate a good drink. But with Scotch, the more you spend, the more you get.
Dalmore,
yeah.
cigar, malt.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
what do you
that's a
get out
really
of something like this instead of a bourbon?
What's that?
What do you get out of something like this instead of a bourbon?
Well, these are Irish whiskeys in general versus bourbon. They're a lot lighter. God, it's almost like we have to switch the show up a little bit and go from this to a bourbon to actually just show him the difference.
We can do that. Why don't we take a commercial break? And
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break with we got Royal Havana Cigar. Their sign is up here. They're a sponsor of ours, and shout out to the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op for giving us this opportunity to put our show on here and have our fan base. Hopefully that keeps going. And then Premier Luxury Automotive of Cleveland. And
North Coast Jazz Ensemble out of Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
All right.
there you go.
We'll be right back.
All right, we'll be right back in a little bit. Thank you. So if you think this is going to be the alcohol-y taste, you're going to be like, oh, fuck, how does it get even more alcohol-y tasting?
I think it might surprise you.
Or you might like it. I don't know. You got to find, see, with whiskey, you got to find your niche. You know what I mean? So,
Joe, can you rip off a piece of that for me?
I was wiping my mouth with this.
Oh,
today.
God, no.
I mean,
kidding.
I've been places.
I know. I can only imagine.
I was wiping mine.
Dude, that's why he was wiping his mouth.
But there's a bottom section that never hit my mouth.
This is Jackie Warren, the salsa queen. She actually taught me a few lessons.
Welcome back. This is the Whiskey Roundtable. Actually, we kind of mix the show up. We usually do one drink. We featured Jameson Caskmates IPA edition. And Kevin here had, Kevin, right? It's going to take me about 20 or 30 times. Names are not my strong suit.
No disrespect, Kevin.
Yeah,
We're
none at all.
First time these
It's
guys
just,
met.
yeah, it takes me a while. But so he had asked a question. Well, what is the difference? Basically, how does Irish whiskey to bourbon? What do you get out of that versus an Irish whiskey? And I mean, you can answer that. It's more fuller bodied. It's they're usually heavier. They're usually heavier in the mouth just by the weight of the drink. To me, they're darker. They're usually aged more, depending on the drink. That's not always true, but they're aged in American oak casks, and you just get you can just see by the color how light that Jameson is versus even through the green bottle there versus the Old Forester there. They're totally different, man. I mean, it's like, and that's why we decided to change the show up a bit and do this, because you asked that question.
All right.
That's the best answer we can give you is just by pouring it in your glass.
Trying it.
Okay.
And trying it, so you'll see. Hopefully you see the difference or taste the difference instead of just straight alcohol.
And I'm new to this too, Kevin, so I will tell you that
Was that
just
the
from
small
trying
batch?
the bourbons, there's more
Yeah,
flavor in there. You
1870.
can actually pick up the citrus or the vanilla or the caramel. You can actually pick that up, where I agree with you with the Jameson. It just, to me, I couldn't pick up anything. And you can in the bourbons.
What, on the smell, on the nose?
On the nose and on the taste, both. On the both. For me. The Irish whiskey, I couldn't get anything out of it. Bourbons, I can get something. You can tell it's caramel, it's vanilla, it's citrus, it's banana or whatever.
But on the Jameson, what kind of taste
I got
did
nothing.
you get?
I got nothing. I got a
But
little
it
bit of
wasn't like
smoky.
sweet to you, or
It was sweet. I got a little smoky on the Jameson.
you just can't figure it out what you're
I
tasting.
can't figure it out.
But you like the drink.
I do like it.
Okay, all right, interesting.
I get the apples and cinnamons as well. I get that. It's probably the first thing I notice. Yeah.
To me, it's the Jameson was very honey, a little tiny bit of apple to it, very vanilla to me too. It's a very sweet drink to me. I never get anything hoppy out of it, because
No.
it's IPA. But I don't get the hoppiness out of that at all.
I did not either.
But I don't know if you're supposed to or not. I don't know. Maybe some people do that have different tastes than I do. Maybe
How
that's
long-
the case. But
how long is that aged in the craft IPA barrels? Do you know?
I'm not sure. No.
I'm just curious. I
Yeah.
just wondered if it was aged longer. Maybe you'd pick that up. But
Interesting enough, a friend of mine who is he lives in Willits, California. His name's John Passo. He's going to be a guest on our show the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and he's been in a couple movies. He's been in quite a few movies, and he was the backup. He's one of the backup guys for like Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's one of the soldiers in that. And he owns a farm on the side of a mountain, but I'm not going to say too much. But he actually had a hand in the Castmates production,
Nice.
so he'll explain that when he's here.
How old is he? I'm just curious.
He is 30. How old am I?
Okay. Okay.
He's
I was just asking.
37.
I sent you and Karen a video of them making the barrels in cask, but that video was shot in 1957.
Right. No.
So-
He select. Okay, so obviously they're beer barrels that they're aging
Yeah,
in. So
yeah.
he was there. One of the guys that would pick out which barrels, and then they would make. He actually has some whiskey from Jameson, from the production and making that and stuff like that he has himself that we will never be able to get. So it makes me curious if that's what he's sending us, because he said he's sending us a batch of whiskey
Right.
for his show, but he's not going to tell us what it is because he's the only guy that has it.
Hopefully it's Heaven
I
Hill.
like them already.
Yeah. Yeah. 6-year-old bottle and bond.
Yeah,
Huh?
quit playing. So let's.
So we picked an 1870 Old Forester, and Greg, if you got some background on it or something you wanted to talk about.
I can. I didn't look anything up, but I can real
What
quick.
does it say, Naomi? You got young eyes. What does it say on the back of the
Yeah, we didn't
bottle
really
there?
prepare for this at all,
Yeah,
so
we
we're just going to
didn't,
kind of
And she just
rip
read
into
it.
this off the bottle.
It says, this whiskey is distilled by U.S. only, and we are responsible for its richness and fine quality. Its elegant flavor is solely due to original fineness developed with care. There's nothing better in the market.
Okay, so that wasn't really a description of it. It's kind of a homage to it, I guess you could say.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was information.
Okay.
That deserved one of the Ralph farts.
Okay, I don't know. Can you read this paragraph here, the top paragraph?
I can get Kevin to read it. His accent.
Yeah, let's have Kevin read it. It sounds so much better when he reads it.
Okay, so Old Forester 1870's name refers to the year that Brown-Forman founder George Garvin Brown began batching whiskey with 3 different distilleries, Atherton in Bardstown, Mattingly in Marion, and Melwood in Louisville, to ensure a consistent product. 1870 original batch is also blended by Marion Barnes, the protege of Brown-Forman's master distiller Chris Morris. It is said that this would make 1870 the first bourbon from a major producer blended by a woman in the modern era. The first batch of 1870 was
Back up to
36
that.
barrels.
What was that?
The first bourbon from a major producer blended by a woman in the modern era.
Wow.
Who knew?
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Okay.
And yeah, then I got a description of the taste, the nose, the palate, the finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the nose, very bright and lively, with its fruity and floral notes at the forefront. Underneath, vanilla and caramel provide the base, and a delightful amount of oak is mixed in. On the palate, this is a bourbon that actually tastes like it smells. It's a delightful mingling of vibrant fruit flavours. The sweetness from the caramel and an agreeable amount of oak make this an easy to enjoy bourbon. And the finish. Despite a light body and a thin mouthfeel, it really has a nice finish. As the sweetness trails off, it finishes with cinnamon, nutmeg, and a mix of baking spices. A light amount of oak can also be tasted throughout the finish and helps provide a lasting aftertaste.
All right.
You know what? You should read all these notes from now on.
Right?
I automatically add 3 points to your IQ with that accent.
Can you just say protege again?
Protege.
Oh, that's not how you said it the first time.
So like, there's a lot of, especially on the co-op, a lot of guys are into
Protege.
Old Forester. We're into Old Forester. It's actually one of our barrel picks that we did. And my 2 favorite Old Foresters are actually this one, the 1870, and pretty much any Old Forester single barrel is really good. We have quite a few store pick ones that Greg has procured for us and
Yes,
acquired.
sir. Yes, sir.
They're very good. And we actually ignored our Old Forester collection for a long time, and
We
we
did.
ripped into this 1870 one. And I said, dude, we got to open this, and it's fantastic. I love it. I like it better than the 1920. The 1920 was Prohibition sign. I think it's $100, right?
Ooh, bad time.
Yep. Prohibition.
So, all right, let's get a pour on this.
Okay.
You know, you think the government
And you're
would
about to
learn
get your
something
answer.
from our lessons
Sorry.
from the
I'm
prohibition.
going to show the bottle, Joe. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Would you look at that? Look at that. Look at this. That's a nice looking bottle.
Nice.
Well, looky here.
Well, looky.
You did it to yourself.
Ah, you ain't gonna get hammered from this.
That's how we're
No, that'll be fine.
He's probably gonna get silly rich.
We'll have him smoking cigars in no time.
Thank you.
You're a totally different person when you came back. It's fucking whiskey. Oh my god, he's swearing a lot. Yeah, fuck everything else. I'm not even going to work today.
Go to the pub with my mates.
All right, that's bourbon. You can smell that right
You
there.
can smell it. Yeah.
Smell it with your mouth open. It goes a lot better.
Oh,
You are
man, I'm not ready for that one.
Sidecar giving me a hard time.
Really?
I smell.
This is
floral.
gonna be Sidecar's definite. He'll like this
You
one.
want to get in here for this sidecar?
Sidecar, you want to
I'm
sit down?
good.
You good?
Yeah,
You got a cigar? You good?
yeah, I'm
All
good.
right.
Cigar, drinking. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
We had
He's
good
got the
food
whole
today.
couch to himself.
What was that stuff?
It
Grass?
was Lebanese food.
Who?
Did you say grass?
Yeah.
It was good, man. I like Aladdin's, dude. Their hummus is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was great, man. Good
Hummus is
selection
good
of
on
food.
everything.
Yeah.
I love Aladdin's. They're great.
I'm always indifferent about falafel.
Oh, it's so
It's got to
good.
be just right.
No,
and
right.
that was just right. I
The
think
kibbe?
they did a nice
Oh,
job
did you
on
try
it.
the kibbe?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That was the.
Kibbe and bits.
Kibbe and bits.
They look like
If you
the,
eat too much of it, you get full off.
They look like the big nut sacks on there on the table.
That's
Have
it.
you smelled it yet? It's a totally different experience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get back to
He's like,
basics here,
this experience went from alcohol to straight fucking alcohol.
All right, let's get a smell.
All right.
I don't know. I think Naomi's a little scared.
It is
on that.
strong. It's a little sweet.
So when you breathe
Wow,
it in, you're
really
supposed to have your mouth open.
Jeez, man. Just,
It
you know,
is
just-
it's just totally different.
It is.
It's
So
There's a
the
lot
whole
of
the
smells.
whole aroma is different than the Jameson.
I get a lot of isopropyl.
It's more powerful.
So, what are you getting when you
90%
smell it,
iso.
Kevin?
I'm getting my
Some legs on
nostrils
this.
burned a little bit.
See the little lines coming down?
You get a what?
See that
His
how
nostrils are
it
getting
shows that
burned, he
it's heavy
said.
when it hangs
Oh
up
yeah,
on
it's
the glass.
it's. Try maybe going a little further away.
I think I can smell some caramel.
Okay.
Okay, there you
good.
go.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
A little vanilla, a little caramel. Absolutely.
This does have a very fruity smell to it.
It does.
I
It
can't
does.
place.
Yeah.
does.
It's not delicate like the Irish stuff.
A delicate flower.
Yeah.
It's like
This is more a man's drink.
it's like
No,
my
put-
dad would
put
say
your
some
glass
shit
back.
like that.
More
This is a
man's
man's
drink.
bourbon right here.
Take your dress off and try that again.
6,500 proof. This is
Oh,
a
yeah.
man's bourbon.
Man's drink.
I think I'm dying.
Naomi, what do you think? Now you're used to the Jameson, so now you're stepping into the bourbons. What do you think?
On the nose, what do you think? What do you get?
It's very strong.
Whiskey?
I'm scared to try
This
it.
actually isn't very strong for a bourbon. This is 90 proof. if
You can
I'm
pick
not
that glass
mistaken.
up and smell
Only
it. It's not
90
going to bite
proof.
you.
I'll keep my distance.
Okay. All right, we want to give it a little taste?
All right, Slange, everybody.
All right.
Cheers.
Salud.
All right, all right, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Cannonball coming down.
Yeah, you better have some water. You better chase it with a little water. You'll feel better.
Oh, it's really good.
All right.
A little young for a drinking companion.
You give the kid whiskey. There's a baby in here. It's on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is. Yep.
I'm trying to, I'm really trying to figure out the fruit aspect to this.
That's what I drink it for the fruit.
Alberto, what do you think?
I get my 5
I'm still talking about the nose right now. Yeah. that's
Yes,
the taste.
Alberto.
Well, Giuseppe, this is indubitably the finest oily context I've ever seen.
It is heavy. It's real.
It is heavy. That's showing her.
It's got some long
Yeah,
legs.
it does. It sets on the top.
But the nose is very strong. I mean, I was joking about the isopropanol earlier, but it's very.
That's definitely
you get a lot
isopropanol.
of, you get a lot of alcohol. You know.
So when you taste it the second time, it's going to be a lot smoother. Trust me.
Oh yeah. You do, and it's funny because you do get a lot of alcohol
I'm serious.
to your nose on this.
Yeah.
The hit when you
He's
smell
scared.
it, and
a little bit.
All right.
It's a little smoother. You still have that burn, but it's a little smoother.
Have another couple
still
glasses
coughing.
and be fine.
sometimes what helps is you take a little, swish it around, and it's going to burn actually more the first time you do that, and then you take another hit of it, and it kind of opens it up to you. That helps.
Let it roll over the tongue.
How do you do that? The talking
You
thing?
can't feel his tongue right
Tip
now.
of the tongue and the teeth and lips.
He'll try that tomorrow when he's
Tip of
brushing his
the
teeth.
tongue, the lips.
Start speaking Spanish now.
Oh my goodness.
Naomi, what do you think?
What do you think, honey?
Did you taste it?
I tasted it twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get alcohol. Like I definitely like.
The burn, pepper,
Yeah, like even when I
spice.
smell
Very
it,
peppery,
like
spicy.
Yeah.
I can't pick out any. I mean,
Any nose of
maybe
it,
if
yeah.
I like really pushed it, but I just like even now I feel like my throat's on fire.
Really?
Water?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Okay.
It's crazy how we've, over the years have gone,
Mhm.
and it's just like, to me, this is like a lighter bourbon. I mean, it's.
I mean, for us, it definitely is lighter bourbon.
But you remember when you first started drinking this?
I do
Remember?
Yeah, I do.
It was rough. You
I
didn't
I
just
hated
jump
it.
into it and say, "Hey, yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
keep doing this every weekend."
Yeah, when you get
had
into
to build
whiskey,
up
you
Spend
gotta
all my
ease
milk
into
money
it.
on this,
Yeah.
for sure. So, no, you're right. I agree.
So what I always say, Jameson was being the star in the show tonight, is that when people ask to get into whiskey and stuff like that, that's actually what I start them on. When they ask me, is I usually start them on, not just Jameson, but like Irish whiskeys in general,
Right.
because they're always super light. They're a lot easier hitting than something like this, or going into 100 proof bourbon, where I mean that's just like really hitting somebody over the head with a whiskey if you get into something like this. And rather than you go into your Irish or even some of the lighter scotches, they're very tasty, they're sweet, and it's easier to get used to. And then once you get into it and you drink it a few times, most of the time people want to expand into that. Let's try this bourbon again. You know what I mean? Once you get used to stuff like that, then you step up to scotch, and then you step up to bourbon. And
Is there anything that's too heavy for you now?
No. Now we're past.
we have a super heavy one.
We got our doctors and masters and all that.
That's a great question though.
Experiments
What's
don't.
the heaviest that you guys like?
Our highest proof here is the Stag Junior at 132.9.
And that's heavy.
That's
that's
a
heavy.
heavy drink.
Not-
I mean,
not-
and it's dark, and it's
Not counting the moonshine, right?
Well, no,
yeah,
no,
I mean, we're talking about.
correct.
Yeah.
No, actually,
We're not talking.
the White Dog
White
is
Dog is-
the Stag is a higher proof than the
Oh,
White Dog.
wow.
Is that the BT?
The Buffalo Trace. You were talking about Cormash. And that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Stag is higher proof than that.
Yeah.
The moonshine that we have is 125.6 or something.
And I never
The,
really
the
did
Stag is 130 something proof.
Yeah.
126.
132.9.
Yeah.
You guys like that?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh,
They let
and
me
the
have
Stag
some
does
that
not.
night. That was a remarkable night.
I mean, we.
From what you
The
remember?
Stag does not hit as heavy as you think
We
it
got
would.
lost on the way
Right.
home.
It really doesn't.
And he's
No,
next
it's
door.
very good. I mean, we're
No less, no right.
we are known to drink things that are our preference is anything 100 proof or better. That's what we drink on a regular basis.
But this is nice to me. I like this. Is for Old Forester. This is one of my favorites. This is I would do, and funny because I like higher proof stuff now. Sometimes, most of the time when we're drinking, especially bourbon, higher proof. To me, it's like the higher the proof, the better almost. But as far as Old Forester goes, I like this 1870 and the single barrel, and they're both about 90 to 93 proof. The flavor's just so good in it. I just can't. I don't know. The higher proof of the Old Forester kind of takes away.
I think the age on that. I don't know this to be true, so if I'm
Oh,
wrong,
yeah.
I apologize to the listeners, but I want to say it's 4 or 5 year.
This one here,
Four or 5 year. I'm almost positive.
Stand your mind.
it's a good drink, man. I like it a lot. I could drink this all night.
Well, I think we should drink up and call it a night.
I could drink this part of the night.
Well, we'll drink this. We'll turn off the show and we'll keep drinking.
All right, sounds great.
Is that it for tonight?
That's it for
All
tonight,
right, guys.
Wanna
We
throw-
are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
Big G.
And I'm Albert Santilli.
And I'm Karen Helen Keller, and I'd like to thank Kevin and Naomi for joining us
And
tonight.
sidecar over there as well.
He's in the background.
All right.
I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Cleveland Bourbon Co-op.
Royal
And,
Havana Cigars.
and that's it.
Be
We're
safe,
done.
guys.
Be
All right.
safe. Enjoy.
Drink responsibly.
Drinking your Cleveland Bourbon Co-op snifters also.
Yep.
Slanza, cheers.
See you next week.